I was trying to figure out what shirt to wear for this review because I don't have any He-Man related shirts. And I was like, well, it's called the Masters of the Universe, and Kang is the master of time. I'm making it up. Really, I just wanted to show the shirt off because I love. Isn't this cool? I love this shirt. So yeah, let's talk about He-Man. Oh snap, baby! Bloopers. And welcome to my safe game, and everyone, thank you for joining me for another review here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. We are here talking about non-spoiler review for Masters of the Universe Revelation. It comes out on Netflix this Friday, July 23rd. I want to say thank you to Netflix for allowing me to get an early, super advanced screener for this show. Like, I received this, by the time this video comes out, it basically would have been a whole month before the show comes out. So thank you to Netflix for giving me the super advanced screener for Masters of the Universe. So for you guys that haven't, are you guys Masters of the Universe fans? Did you watch He-Man or the original movie that came out in the 80s or whatever? Let me know. Leave your comments. Are you excited about the Masters of the Universe Revelation directed by Kevin Smith? Let's get into it. Let's have the conversation. Like, comment, interact for the algorithm, and let's get this thing going. But Masters of the Universe Revelations tells the tale of the battle for Eternia begins anew in what might be He-Man and Skeletor's final battle. Dun dun dun! And like I mentioned, this TV series, there's only 5 episodes, at least for part 1. Part 1 is releasing on Friday, and they haven't announced when part 2 is going to come out. I think it's going to be another 5 episodes, and both of these parts are directed and created and produced by Kevin Smith. And he basically called all his friends pretty much the voice act in these roles, because you got Mark Hamill voicing the role of Skeletor. You have Chris Wood, who most people will know as Mon-El from the CW show Supergirl. Chris Wood is voicing He-Man and Prince Adam. You have Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy herself, voicing Teela. Great voice actor Phil Lamar voicing a character. You have Lena Headey voicing a role, Cersei herself. You got Alicia Silverstone from Clueless, Tony Todd, the Candyman, Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman himself, and a whole bunch of other actors that we all know from both television, movies, and from voiceover roles in the past, coming to voice this animated special of Masters of the Universe. So overall, the voice acting for this show was pretty damn good. That's one thing that I really hate when it comes to animated properties or even video games, when the voice acting isn't good. Like, the story could be great, but if the voice acting is subpar, like, it takes me out of it. And you don't necessarily, I'll get into this later, but you don't necessarily have to worry that for the majority of the cast. And also, in terms of the animation style, like the people that did the animation for Masters of the Universe are the same people and the same production company that did the animation for the Castlevania show and also the Blood of Zeus. So if you watch those shows, you know the animation is going to be stellar. And I just looked up their name really quick. It's Powerhouse Animation Studios. They also did Ses Manos, which is another animated property on Netflix that a lot of people did say that they liked. I never got around to checking it out. But yeah, their animation game is always on point. And I do remember saying, like, after Castlevania was all said and done, I can't wait to see what their next animated property is going to be. And now I know, it's He-Man, and they did a great job animating this show. And the score was pretty nice, and I mean, overall, the storyline was interesting. Like, overall, I had a decent enough time watching these 5 episodes of Masters of the Universe. Now, let's get into my criticisms, because I think that's going to be the majority of this review. My biggest problem, and again, it's not to say I don't hate this property, I don't dislike this property. Like I said, I had a good enough time watching it, but for me personally, I feel like the biggest negative I could take for this property is I feel like the way Kevin Smith wrote this Masters of the Universe show. If you're not a fan of Masters of the Universe, if you have no idea about the Masters of the Universe world like me, like, I know He-Man, I know the whole by the power of Grayskull and the character of Skeletor and everything like that. That's really all I know about He-Man. I know nothing about this world, Eternia, Subternia, Preternia, all of these worlds, all of these characters. I know absolutely nothing about it. I don't know the story. I know nothing. So going into this, they do absolutely nothing to get new fans on board with this storyline. Like, basically, if you don't know He-Man, you're not going to be lost. But there's just certain moments that won't land with you. The way they wrote this show is they expect you to know this world, because there are certain lines that they have in this story. Like, for example, and this is a non-spoiler review, but there's a character that says, "Oh, I'm doing this because I wanted to see you one last time." And you're supposed to know as a fan, like, "Oh my God, like, I know what that means. Like, I know that reference. Oh, tell her the truth." Like, because I had to look all this up to find out. I was like, what does this even mean? What is the connection between these two characters? Why was that such a big moment in the story? And when I had to look it up on the internet. I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense now. But the fact that I had to do all this extra research instead of them telling me some way throughout in the story, again, they didn't do a job on getting new fans into this property. I guess this isn't really for new fans, but like, He-Man came out in the 80s. Like, the people that are watching He-Man, that's like my brother's generation, who was born in 1972. But for me, like, that is interesting. I'm like, I want to know more. And then there's also a character that dies. Again, I'm not going to say who, what, the circumstances, or anything like that. But it's almost like the show stops, because they go to every single major character's face and just look at their reaction, and the music swells, and it's just like, it's a huge deal that this character died. And because I have no idea about the story of He-Man and don't know any of these characters, I was just like, okay, like, who is this person? And so because of that, I think that's why I feel like I only had a decent enough time watching the show, because yes, the story was interesting, the animation was interesting, but in terms of like explaining the world really for new fans, they didn't really do that. So I'm pretty sure maybe if you are already a fan of He-Man, if you're already invested in this world, you already know the rules of this world, maybe you might like it a little bit more. Now, also going into the voice acting of it all, even though I said the majority of the voice acting was pretty good, I will mention, because Sarah Michelle Gellar does play the character of Teela, and for this Masters of the Universe Revelation, Teela is a pretty major character, and for this Masters of the Universe Revelation, Teela does a lot of the heavy lifting in this property. And I will say, like, I don't know, as much as I love Sarah Michelle Gellar, I love Buffy, most of you guys that watch this channel know how much I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I feel like Sarah Michelle Gellar's voice didn't match for the character design of Teela. Like, I don't know, because Sarah Michelle Gellar's voice is kind of mousy, and coming out of like Teela's, like the way this character looks, she looks super imposing, and I don't know, her voice just didn't fit for me, and it threw me off. And out of all the characters, I feel like her voice was the one that just didn't, I don't know, it didn't work for me. It wasn't bad, like her performance wasn't bad, it's just her voice didn't work. But with that said, I feel like despite not loving the series, I do feel like there was enough there that made me interested in part 2, and I would definitely check out part 2, especially considering how part 1 did end on such a cliffhanger. It does make me wonder where the story is going to go from here on out. But it's not something that made me like, oh my God, I have to rush to see part 2. I love this series, I need to watch it again. But I mean, it's on Netflix. If you got Netflix, I definitely would recommend checking it out. So I would say, for me, Masters of the Universe Revelation is a low hit. But the question is, are you guys fans of the Master of the Universe lore? Are you excited about seeing it this Friday? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you can't hit that thumbs up button and like this video to really help out the channel. And if this is one of your first time checking out one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you like what you see, please subscribe for more and hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. Tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.